Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for another Sports Blog Google Plus Hangout. Chris Yates here, honored to be part of the show with Charlie Villanueva with the Dallas Mavericks. We're going to get everybody's questions in. Charlie, I'm supposed to talk about your movie, but no offense, man. There was a better movie last night. You guys dominating the Clippers. I know that was a lot of drama. You talk about a movie and a setup. You got a villain. You've got a nice guy, right? Is a Cuban. Of course, you're going to call him the nice guy. And a little bit of controversy. How fun was that to finally beat those guys and with all the controversy around it?
It was definitely fun. We had, the headlines, with DeAndre and all that stuff. But it was a fantastic game. We played a great game, and I'm more proud of the guys, the way how we responded from the Pelican games that we played. We played awful, and the way we responded the next day was fantastic. We was coming off a back-to-back game. They had a day rest. So the way we perform, it's what Dallas basketball is about.
Maybe y'all need more villains to play against because y'all played really well. That had a big game feel to it, and it was only November.
Yeah, it did. It did have an NBA feel to it, no doubt. The crowd was into it. Everybody was pretty much into the game, and it was a very emotional game. That's for sure. We definitely wanted to win this game in front of the home crowd, and I was glad we was able to deliver that.
All right, Jake, you got a question?
All right, hey Charlie. First off, thanks for joining us again, man.
Yep, no problem.
So, I felt like all off season long, especially leading up into the season, everyone was saying, well, Mavericks don't have a quality big man. They didn't get DeAndre. Dirk is getting older. And I'm honestly curious, last night before the game and leading up to the game, for the big men, you, Dirk, Zaza, was there a feeling of like a chip on your shoulder and wanting to prove to the national media that, hey, we don't need DeAndre, or was it just business as usual?
I think with DeAndre, DeAndre is a good player at the end of the day, but that's the past now. And I think as far as the bigs, we just collectively have to do better, and we're doing that. I think we're only 8 games in, or 8 games in. I think we've been getting better, and I think Zaza has been tremendous for us. He's an automatic double-double, and I take Zaza right now. I take Zaza any day right now.
All right.
He can make his free throws too.
That's a good one. Man, y'all, it's good coming off a win like that for sure for a team like you guys. Michael Lark, you're up. What do you got?
Hey, Charlie, I want to talk about your game, just you specifically. It seemed like last year, covering you last year, you came in just more of a spot-up shooter. Now we look at your game this year. You're driving to the hoop. I think I caught you at some point last game. You had a little baby hook to your game. But what's different about you this year, where you're driving to the hoop, you've got a different facet to your game?
I think now I'm feeling more comfortable in the system with Coach Carlisle's system. I think last year I was trying to find more of my place or where I fit in or whatnot, and being able to spread the floor. But I think a lot of teams are focusing on me spreading the floor. So there's other things I have to do, and being able to drive the ball, and even on pick and rolls, I see a lot of teams they're doing switching. So. That's where I can use my height, my versatility to take them to the post and use that to score the basketball.
Awesome. We'll keep talking basketball, but then we're going to get to your movie in a minute. It's really interesting how some players are doing side stuff like that. We'll get to that in a minute. Earl, you got a question?
Yeah, in the movie you kind of see your relationship with your teammates and your relationship with Coach Carlisle. Last year, getting a chance to bond with those guys, you going to the playoffs for the first time. How big was that, especially at that point in your career?
It's huge. I've said this before. I've never been on a team where all the guys from like 1 through 15 get along so well. We have this brotherhood, this family bond. it's very welcoming. I'm a family guy, and in the locker room, it's just it's good to be around those guys and being you know, going to the playoffs with Dallas and with some of the guys that were in the locker room, you know, last year and now to this year. It's tremendous, man. These are a good group of guys, and I think that's important for us, you know, to get better, you know, as far as our chemistry. This can definitely help tremendously, and I'm so thankful to be in Dallas and be with these guys.
Okay, so now let's move on now. A lot of players, NBA, NFL, NHL, they only focus on what they're doing currently. They don't think about what they're going to do after they leave the sport. You're already kind of doing that. There's not many people that actually are active in a professional sport and doing side projects. Tell us about your side project. You're actually making a movie. Are you the next Martin Scorsese here?
No, it's crazy because it started off with us doing us filming my free agency signing, and it went from there to, you know, record to filming my road to the playoffs.
Okay.
Then it kind of grew into like, well, maybe we can do a movie or something, or maybe we can do a documentary. But why not do it on, you know, the focus being alopecia? You know, I've been dealing with alopecia, you know, since I was 10 years old, and I started thinking, like, why not try to leave a legacy and try to inspire others? And I think a lot, and educate people at the same time and create awareness. I don't think a lot of people know what alopecia is and how it affects certain players or certain individuals.
Tell people what it is and why it inspired you to do this.
Well, alopecia, alopecia is a skin disease, is a hair loss disease where it's an autoimmune disease that there's three types. There's alopecia areata, where you lose portions of patches of your hair on your head, and then there's totalis, which is complete hair loss on your scalp, and then there's the more severe one, which is the universalis, is the one that I have, which is full body hair loss, and how it affects people, you know, emotionally, mentally, physically. So I think you know, this is a time for me to educate people, and I felt like, you know, this is the right time to do something like this.
Very cool. That's awesome. Simeon has a question for you. Simeon, what do you got?
Yeah, Charlie, speaking about the alopecia, what was it like? Like, when did you really come to grips with it as a teenager? And, you know, what kind of soul searching did you have to do to come to grips with that?
I was diagnosed with it at the age of 10, and then it grew back like at 11. Then it fell off completely at the age of 12, and it took me about 6 years to actually accept it. I was constantly trying to hide it. I was constantly in the shell. But the only place where I didn't hide it was on the basketball court. I just felt normal. I felt like a regular kid. I felt, you know, I felt good when I was in between those lines. So but it took me about 6 years. It was a constant battle every day. I remember in school, you know, I didn't want to go to school, and I always wanted to wear a hat, but school policy is you can't wear a hat in school, you know. So I remember my mom had to talk to the principal and all that, and you know, it was a constant battle every day. You know, there's bullying, there's kids making their comments here and there. That's one of the hardest things is, you know, people didn't understand what I was going through at that age, and but it took me 6 years, and then it was just one day where I just woke up and it was just like, enough is enough. I didn't like the feeling. I felt like it was kind of taking over my life. And I always say, you know, make sure you have alopecia. Alopecia doesn't have you. And it's just one day I just woke up and I was just like, I'm done with this. I hate feeling it like this. So I just accepted it, and this is who I am. And that's when I realized, you know, this is my purpose in life, is to help others. I never had anybody that I looked up to with this condition. So, I think it happened to me so I can help others.
Very good. Guys, we're 13 minutes in. We got about 6, 7 more minutes here. Let's go with, I know a lot of people want to ask questions. Earl, you were next. Go ahead.
Well, Charlie, you kind of touched on it there. Growing up, finding out at the age of 10 that you had alopecia. I know you do Charlie's Angels now, and you see a little bit of that in the movie, but what's it like now being kind of a role model for young people who grow up with this condition?
It's an amazing feeling. It's my purpose in life. I've been dealing, I have this program called Charlie's Angels, for those that don't know. I invite adult kids on the road who deal with alopecia and meet with them, spend a couple minutes with them, take pictures, answer their questions, make them feel like they're not alone in this, and that they can live their dream and fulfill their dream. And I'm perfectly capable of that. And it is crazy because I see, I see these kids grow up with it. I've been in NBA. This is my 11th year doing this program. So I'm kind of seeing the same kids, growing up, and just seeing them how they're dealing with it better and coping with it is an amazing feeling.
And when you say kids, how many are we talking about? Is there a number out there that people know, or is it?
It depends on the city. Like I've done 50 kids at once. I've done 20, 30.
So it's quite a few.
One or two. It's quite a few, yeah, that's for sure. It just depends on the city, and I've done so many of them, and it's so refreshing. It makes me feel so good when I meet these kids and seeing the results. The response is crazy. Some of these kids, or even adults, like they just feel so much better. And as far as the adults, there's certain adults that never taken off their wig in public, and the fact that I'm able to give them that strength is an amazing feeling.
All right, one last question about the movie, and then we got 2 basketball questions, and that could probably wrap up the show. So the fact that you're now a documentary filmmaker, how does that inspire you after you do this one? Is it harder than you thought? What are some of the interesting aspects of creating a movie, and would you do another one?
Well, it's crazy because I've obviously never done a movie or anything of that nature, but it's a learning experience, and I'm learning, on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very fascinating. It's very tough. This is very tough. Trying to put a movie together, especially I'm working with my brothers and my manager. None of us have experience of making a film, but we had a viewing in New York and a viewing in Dallas, and both turned out to be amazing. And I think we've doing a great job thus far on telling my story.
Okay.
But it's hard. It's hard, but it's fun at the same time because I'm working with people that know me and that I love being around.
Awesome. All right. Awesome on that movie. 2 more questions, and then we'll wrap it up here. Jake has some basketball question for you.
Yeah, Charlie, back in 2005, you and Darren Williams both went within, I want to say 5 picks. I think he went 3rd to Utah, and then you went 7th to Toronto. But this is the first time that you guys are really getting to play alongside one another. How's that been?
It's been great. Actually, I was supposed to be playing with Darren in college because I committed to Illinois first. For those that didn't know, I was going to Illinois, and then Bill Self ended up going to Kansas, and then I backed out of that. But it's crazy because in 2005, Darren went 3rd, Raymond Felton went 5th, and I went 7th, and now we're all on the same team. Darren is a tremendous leader, great player, and he's a great leader, and he's going to be a big piece of what Dallas basketball is about and how far we go during this season.
Great. A few more. You're going to like this name, the Slam Dunk is on. Slam dunk effect has a question.
Hey Charlie, how are you?
You know about slam dunking?
What's up?
You've been in the game you've been in the game for a long time, and I just want to know what made you fall in love with the game.
What made me fall in love with the game? I've been playing since the age of 10. I think my brother played basketball. My parents are from the Dominican Republic, and baseball was our thing. And my mom played softball, my dad played baseball, but my brother just wanted to play basketball, and I always wanted to be like my brother, so I decided to play basketball. And at the same time, I liked the feeling it gave me when I was dealing with alopecia. So I just kept playing and kept mastering my craft in basketball. So I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. The reason I got alopecia, is to help others, of course, but I use basketball as a tool to overcome that.
All right. Simeon, you're on board. Unmute yourself, Simeon.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Charlie, I'm actually father, nothingbutnicks.com, and so I'm wondering, knowing that you're a native of Queens, have you had a chance to take a look at the Knicks? What do you think about what Phil Jackson has done?
No. I mean, New York is definitely an up-and-coming team. They're definitely, once they hire Phil Jackson, I think our organization are heading to the right direction. But my heart is with Dallas, that's for sure. Playing for New York, I don't know. I think, I'm just going to focus on playing for Dallas and see what happens, in free agency, once that comes up.
What is it about a coach like a Phil Jackson or even a Carlisle won an NBA championship? How do they do it? I mean, it seems so easy. It's like anybody can do it, right? But these guys continuously win.
No, not anybody can do it.
That's my point.
They just make it look easy. Those are two great, basketball philosophers. Phil Jackson's track record speaks for itself. His coach and winning multiple championships speaks for itself. Coach who's Dallas most winningest coach, and has a championship under his belt as well. Is phenomenal coaches. They have the players, that's for sure. Coach Carlisle will tell you that a lot of his success, he will owe it to Dirk Nowitzki, and Phil Jackson will owe it to MJ. So they know the game of basketball. They know the game of basketball, and they're very respectable guys as well.
Does Dirk Nowitzki still got enough left in the tank? Let's be honest. He's getting old now.
I remember him yesterday. You saw him yesterday, right?
I know. I saw him as a rookie. Man, I covered him as a rookie. His first deal.
He had 31 and like 10 and 11 at 37. I mean, this guy is not slowing down, man. This guy is surprising a lot of people, man. It's an honor watching him play. And he's a phenomenal player, and his work ethic is tremendous, and it's just so amazing to watch.
Yeah, he is. I mean, for him to last that long, and you know what? You've been in the league 11 years now as well. It's tough. I mean, the average lifespan of a professional athlete, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. The fact that you stayed in 11 years, how do you do it? What's the key for you personally? I mean, that's a tough thing.
You got to just take care of your body, and you have to be a sponge. You got to soak, all the knowledge up of the game, and you got to understand the game as well. You just got to keep working at it. It's crazy. I mean, it's 11 years. This is my 11th year, and
you think you last this long?
Hopefully, I could keep playing. A couple more years, but it's just amazing. It's just amazing. But you just got to keep working at it, and the game will take care of you.
You said amazing. I've lasted 11 years. If you had to guess when you first got in the league, how long do you think you would last?
Say it again.
How long did you think you would last when you first got in the league? 11's a pretty big number.
I mean, I didn't. 11 is a big number. Hopefully, I got a couple more. But when you come into the league, you think it's gonna last forever. You don't ever think of the end. And now that I'm at my 11th year, I'm just like, wow, the end is definitely knocking for sure. But I'm 31. Hopefully, I can reach 37. Be like Dirk a little bit. But we'll see.
Go. All right. It's so funny. 31's old considering your profession.
Yeah, basketball is old.
You're like
It's
a
old
young kid. That's hilarious. Okay, one last question. Michael Lark, and then we'll wrap up the show.
Hey, Charlie, I got to ask you, it's been a young season. You guys have kind of been a little up and down so far this season. Aside from getting Parsons and Wesley Matthews healthy, what would you say is the one thing the Mavs have to do in order to make sure you guys get in the playoffs and have a long season going into the playoffs?
Well, health is coming along. I think that's a big part of this, and the guys playing together. I mean, we not even our first game of the season. We still have guys that haven't really played together, and you see coach put guys out there, guys that never really played together because guys were hurt, sitting out the most of the preseason and whatnot, or minute restrictions or whatnot. So I think health is big on this team. Then we got a very good team. We're under the radar, that's for sure. And yesterday was an indication of how good we can be. I think everybody knows the Clippers are an elite team out in the West, and we show we can play with them, and we can beat teams like that. So we just have to stay healthy, and I think the season will be great for us.
And then to end it, I guess to stay blessed, right? Your hat represents something. Why did you wear the hat?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What does it mean?
Gotta stay blessed.
That's it? Just simple as that?
I mean, blessed. I mean, as far as my hat right now, I mean, being blessed. I'm living my dream. I'm 11 years in, living my dream, and then I woke up this morning, so it's a blessed day.
Awesome. Well, it was blessed to have you on the show, man. Thank you for coming on. Sports Blog, another great hangout, and thank you all for being a part of the show and for watching, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank
Charlie.
you.
Hey, guys. Thanks, Charlie.
All right. Thank you, Charlie.
Bye-bye. Thank you, guys.